you just tell us a little bit about your job and what you do here?
Sure. What am I? I'm one of these weird people. I don't like the term investigative reporter, though that's kind of what they call me. And I do largely criminal justice stuff, long-term criminal justice projects. That's part of our watchdog team, another weird term. It's kind of the investigative team. And I do cover federal courts also. Reason I point because I'm in that direction. But that's pretty much it. Just longer-term projects on different things. Mm-hmm. Largely, criminal justice stuff has been the focus for really the last decade or more.
What college did you attend, and how did you actually end up here instead of another job?
Oh, sure. Randolph-Macon College, which is actually similar to yours, is a liberal arts college near Richmond, and they actually didn't even have a journalism major. I majored in English and wanted to write, and then realized that unless I was very quickly the great American novelist, which I wasn't, I wanted to get paid regularly, so newspaper became a way to do that. And I edited the college paper and just went right out into small newspapers and then a small daily, and then came here. I worked in Virginia, and in 1990, that long ago, came here after an editor who I'd worked with in Virginia and moved up here a couple of years before and lured me up.
So you've always been really interested in the newspaper?
Yeah, that's all I've done, really.
Yeah.
I've done freelancing, some magazine stuff here and there, but really since college, it's the only job I've had.
Mm-hmm. What types of media forms do you use the most?
Such as, you mean with social media stuff
Yes.
and things like that? Sure.
Yeah.
That's obviously, we're doing a lot more of that these days. I guess different social media outlets, Twitter more than others, and that's partly because, too, the teacher didn't even have a Facebook page until probably 6 months ago, and that was almost purely by accident. What happened was to kind of get rid of the anonymity of commenters on our stories, because some of it was really getting ugly. It doesn't completely rule out anonymity, but we set up so you have to go through Facebook accounts and somebody was commenting on a story of mine and asking legitimate questions, and I realized I couldn't answer without a Facebook page.
Right.
And so I set up a Facebook page, answered, and then thought I deleted it, and next thing I knew, I hadn't, and my friends and relatives had found me, so I've had it ever since. But I still use that to link to stuff we do, stuff that I do, but Twitter probably more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that TV and internet, or news shows, or how the internet and news has affected the newspaper business?
Oh, definitely. I'll try to be concise. TV news we've had forever, so
right.
And they've sort of had their niche, and we've had our niche. We've been the ones that I think typically provide more depth, and they're much better at sort of the quick hit crime coverage, the accidents, which we're doing more of now to get to the second half of it because of the internet, because so many people get their news on the internet now. And what we found is, and I'm sure not just us, people who are frequently going to the internet, you need something fresh there. If you look at a story at 8 and you come back to our site at 12 and it's all the same stuff, you might not come back again at 2. So we now do more of the sort of stuff that TV, and you'll hear about, Victoria will be talking to your class about this probably, more of the stuff that TV used to kind of be the only one, which is, accidents. We're out there for photographs, videos now, we do videos. And it's an interesting sort of dichotomy where on the web, that seems to be the most popular stuff. People love their crime on the web, they love their accidents on the web, which sounds weird. But they will read the in-depth stuff if you sort of package it in a way that's appealing, and I think that's what we've been working through, is how best to make it appealing on the web. And through other, we're carving out stuff now for completely different platforms. Stories will be arranged in a way so they can go on the phone, so they're on the pad, the tablets, and so it's a whole new world. The big part of the internet is, the problem, and TV's facing it too, is how do you make money off of it? Right. And that's been the thing that's been killing our industry, because we were slow at realizing what was going to happen with it, and we haven't quite figured out how to make money off of it.
So you guys have a website page along with the actual newspapers?
Yeah, we have, which is, I think, I hope I'm not wrong, but it was, I think, the most popular news site in town. I don't know if one of the WAM 13 might have, but I know we've been up among sort of local media outlets that offer news. Yeah.
So do more people visit your website than get actual newspapers, or is it equal?
I mean, like most newspapers, our circulation has sadly been on a decline. I don't know. We actually have, I don't even know how they figure this out through polling or whatever, household surveys. If you look at sort of the penetration, which is basically you take your population and figure out what percentage of that population access you via internet, via newspaper or whatever. And we have, over the last couple of years, either the number 1 or number 2 penetration in the country, which means both internet and newspaper are reaching a larger swath of the population than other outlets. But I don't know which. I can find out. I don't really know which is larger. I mean, I'm thinking the newspaper might still be, if you do a multiplier, if you just took sheer circulation, probably not, but typically you sort of a multiplier where you say a household of X number, and you sort of multiply out and assume folks are reading the paper there, but I'm not sure.
Do you think that reading the newspaper has the same effect on people as when they watch the news on the TV?
No, I think TV and video on the internet is much more visceral. It's something, I don't think you're sort of watching it with the same kind of analytical approach as if you're reading something in depth. If you're reading something that's, just a sort of quick hit news story, maybe. But I think that more often, and that's both the power and sort of the weakness in a way of that medium. The power, and we've been trying to get better with video now, so we can maybe try to match that. But it's just tough. The picture's worth 1,000 words. There are things that you just, if you see it, it's whole. I can never describe it. And, at the same time, I can provide depth to something that might happen that the video doesn't.
Right. So how do you guys really keep up with the competition of the TV and things so that the newspaper doesn't end up just completely declining?
If you can figure that out, let me know.
Yeah, it's kind of a...
I think, we're making steps in that direction. One, and I think we're slow to the game here, but then we always think we could run the company better. We've gone to the pay model online. You get a certain number of free articles a month, but then you have to pay for it. I think. There are a lot of complaints about that. People are so accustomed to getting online for free, other than paying for your service, that there was a big hue and cry when we did it. But it's, from what I hear, it's paying dividends. It's helping sort of stop our revenue slide. That was one thing. I think trying to, again, what we're doing is with so many different modes of communication out there, whether it's your iPad, whether it's your phone, etc. How do you make it so it's appealing to everybody, whatever that may be that are looking for their news, and we're working on that too. We were just, sadly, we're not completely unlike Kodak, but we're not bankrupt. And then Kodak had something institutional film that it just didn't seem to want to let go of forever, and I think we were very slow to acknowledge that print was not, I hope it's around much longer, but there were going to be other ways for people to get their news, and we just kept holding on to it.
Right. And then my last question is, do you enjoy working for the newspaper, and why?
Depends on the day. Yeah, for the most part. Every day is a little different. Every day is very different. I meet interesting people. Some strange. And it's because of that. It's just I don't know. I think I'd have a hard time doing something where I'm probably doing the same thing day in, day out. Though there are days that does have real appeal to it. But yeah, just the sheer variety. And newsrooms are interesting places. And I have a lot of friends that have left the business for job security, for better money, all of which are out there better than here. Sadly, some who were laid off. We've had cutbacks and all. And a lot of them say the same thing. They're actually happier because they're making better money, and but at the same time they miss there's a weird camaraderie of newsrooms. It's sort of a weird kind of good atmosphere in the newsroom. It's gotten a little more, as I get older, it's gotten a little more corporate than it used to be. It used to be almost anything goes in the newsroom to a point was probably not good as far as behavior, but still, they're a lot of fun.